Horrible management. Christie's side's horrible management leads to Kelsey Mitchell injury in meaningless game before the playoffs. The Indiana Fever's late-season collapse reached a new low when Kelsey Mitchell sustained an injury during a game that ultimately means little for playoff positioning. This loss, which saw the Fever blow a commanding 20-2 lead, underscores the team's struggles and their reliance on Mitchell's scoring ability. As the game unfolded, it became glaringly apparent that the Fever are not equipped to compete without her. Starting strong, the Fever quickly established a 20-2 advantage, fueled by Mitchell's early scoring. However, as soon as she exited the game, the momentum shifted dramatically. In the time since Mitchell was subbed off, the Fever managed to score only 25 points while their opponents racked up 48. This stark contrast highlights the critical role Mitchell plays in the team's offense. Without her, the Fever seem lost on the court. While the immediate concern is Mitchell's health, there is a growing worry about the overall depth of the Fever roster. The team seems to lack not only star power, but also reliable bench contributions. During this game, Christie showed some promise, nearly matching Caitlin Clark in scoring, but the rest of the bench struggled to make an impact. Kelsey Mitchell's injury has raised alarms about the team's viability heading into the playoffs. Her value cannot be overstated. Additionally, the Fever's decision to part ways with Emily Engler earlier in the season seems increasingly questionable. Engler could have filled a vital role on this team, especially given the current lack of depth. She was the perfect fit for the Fever's needs, and her absence has left a noticeable gap. As the game progressed, frustration mounted among fans and analysts alike. Many were left scratching their heads, questioning the effectiveness of players like Katie Samuelson, who has struggled to find her footing. With the Fever on the brink of a playoff push, their inability to secure scoring from the bench became painfully evident. The Mystics, who started the season poorly, have shown how depth can make a significant difference in performance, even with a less talented roster overall. The alarming truth is that the Fever may possess the weakest bench in the league. When comparing their secondary players to those of other teams, such as the Mystics or even the struggling Sky, it's clear that Indiana's reserves are underperforming. The Mystics have a young and dynamic bench that has proven capable of contributing significantly, while the Fever's bench players have struggled to make their presence felt. As the playoffs approach, the Fever situation becomes more precarious. If Kelsey Mitchell is unable to recover quickly, the team will be hard-pressed to find a way to compete effectively. The reliance on her scoring and playmaking is stark, and without her, the Fever's chances of making any noise in the postseason are severely diminished. Looking ahead, the Fever must reassess their roster and strategy. They need to find ways to develop their bench into a more reliable unit and perhaps look to bolster their squad in the offseason. The injury to Kelsey Mitchell serves as a stark reminder of how fragile their situation is. If they cannot build a more robust team around their stars, the Fever risk becoming perennial underachievers in the WNBA. As the season draws to a close, the focus will shift to whether Kelsey Mitchell can recover in time for the playoffs, and if not, how the Fever will adapt to a challenging future. The time for change is now, and the organization must take the necessary steps to ensure they are not left behind in an increasingly competitive league.